Welcome back to another episode of the Scran Line. I'm Nick, and today we're going to be making something really cool. I've never made modeling chocolate on this channel before, so today we're going to be making modeling chocolate together. I'm going to make this really cool heart and then a hand holding the heart. This cake is inspired by one of my all-time favorite songs by Nicki Minaj, and it's called By a Heart. Love that song, listen to it. So that's what this is inspired by. Before we get stuck into today's video, super duper important guys, without hitting the like button on this video, YouTube doesn't notify people about this video. So hit the like button before we get stuck into the video. Hit it now, hit the like button. The first thing we're gonna do is make modeling chocolate. And guys, it's really easy. So I'm gonna add some white chocolate into a large mixing bowl. We're gonna melt this in the microwave until it's nice and smooth and melted. Next, we're gonna add some corn syrup, or it might be called glucose syrup where you are. Now, at this point, we're gonna start mixing with a spatula. You don't want to over mix because you can cause this mixture to split and kind of seize. You want to mix just until you form a dough. Pop your dough mixture on top of a large piece of plastic wrap on your workbench. Wrap it up, flatten a little bit, and let it set a little bit at room temperature. Once it's set a little bit, you want to unwrap it and we're going to start kneading it. Now, some people can run into some issues with modeling chocolate where it just goes really crumbly. It should actually be elasticy. But if it does go crumbly, there's a little hack you can use, and you can actually wet your hands with some water, start kneading it. It looks really gross if you're making dark chocolate, modeling chocolate, because it looks like your hands went up a cow's. But keep kneading it, it goes really smooth again, and it's kind of like magic. Now, we are going to be splitting this mixture into two, or you can make it in two batches. And in the first batch, we are going to be coloring it pink because our heart is going to be pink colored. Making the heart is really easy, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just kind of roughly shape it into a real human heart. And if you want some references, there are plenty on Google Images. Now, to add the final decorations to our pink heart, we are going to be adding some like ventricles, I don't even know what they're called. And we're gonna be adding some veins on there as well, just to kind of give it that extra hearty look. Once you've got your heart looking right, and that's such a weird sentence, but once it's looking like a human heart, set it on top of a baking tray lined with some baking paper or plastic wrap, pop it in the fridge to set. Let's move on to making the white chocolate hand. So for the white chocolate hand, no coloring here, we're just using the white chocolate. Let's begin with the actual hand. You're gonna roll out your fondant or kind of squish it with the palm of your hand, and then you're gonna pop your hand on top, and you're gonna use a sharp knife to carefully trace around your fingers without cutting yourself and take away the excess chocolate. Then from here, it's all about kind of modeling it using your hand as a reference. You don't want to worry too much about the back of your hand where your palm is. You want to add all the details on the other side of your hand, the back. Which is the front or the back? I don't know. You want to add little details like the creases on your knuckles and your fingernails, and just like use your hand as a reference. Once you've got that looking right, we are going to pop the pink chocolate heart in the palm of your white chocolate hand and slowly wrap your fingers around it. Once you're happy with the shape, what you're going to do is you're going to make the wrist or the forearm section. This part is really easy. You want to attach it to your hand, just using your finger to kind of smush the white chocolate up. The more you use it, the softer the white chocolate gets because of the warmth of your hands. Now, our hands, when they're holding something, are never holding it like this. There's kind of like a slight bend to your hand and forearm. And to help me get that bend, I'm going to be using a paper towel roll wrapped in some baking paper, and I'm going to pop that section on top of it. Pop that on the baking tray, let it set in the fridge, and let's move on to making our cake. Now you guys have watched me make these cakes a million times, so I'm not going to go over how to make the cake, but once you have finished making the cake, you want to bake it, let it cool down completely, trim the tops off, and then slice them in half. You're baking 3 cakes, so once you've sliced them all in half, you'll end up with 6 layers. We're going to fill and crumb coat this cake using some of my Swiss meringue buttercream frosting. You can find the recipe for that on the scranline.com. Now, to help this hand, which is going to be sitting on top of our cake, stand up and not collapse into the cake, we're going to be doing a couple different things. So we're going to be building a support structure in our cake. We're going to pop some straws into our cake, trim the tops off so they're nice and level with the top of the cake, pop a small 5-inch cake board on top, and that's going to help prevent our chocolate hand from sinking into the cake. The other thing that we want to do is actually add some cake pop sticks into the bottom of your forearm, of the white chocolate forearm, and you want to line those up with some holes that you're going to put in the top of that cake board. So that later on when we finish our cake, we can just slide those into the holes that we pre-prepared and our hand will just stay up. Once you've got that all done and the holes are in there, pop it in the fridge, let it chill really well, and then we are going to come back and add the final layer of frosting. Once you've got that done, you are going to line up the cake pop sticks with the holes that you put in before. Pop the hand in nice, as gently as you can, but into the bottom of the cake. And then you're going to use a small pointed end offset spatula to smoothen out where the arm meets the cake. Now, to finish off this cake, we are going to be adding some pink blood, and what we're going to be doing with this pink blood first, which is really easy to make by the way, we're going to be brushing it onto the heart first to kind of give the heart kind of like a shiny sheen. And then we're going to be dripping some down the heart and down the arm and down the rest of the cake to make it look like the heart is actually pumping pink blood. And guys, that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit the like button so others can enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line.